And what was your reaction when you saw the video?
This is some of the most egregious abuse that I've ever seen in any investigation that we've conducted, where calves are being violently bashed in the heads with pickaxes and hammers and being neglected and left without medical care or veterinary care in order to just die in their filthy, disease-ridden hutches.
What do you think drives somebody to treat animals like that?
At this facility, the cruelty that we documented, where the calves were treated as disposable commodities, was... Sorry, no, it's okay.
Why'd you start over?
I don't remember what you asked me.
Oh, what do you think drives people to treat animals like this?
I've never been asked that. Well, in factory farms nationwide, we've documented this exact same type of cruelty. So what we've discovered from almost nearly a decade of undercover investigations around the U.S. is that animal abuse is the norm in animal agribusiness.
Why do you think that they chose this way as opposed to a less harsh way to do something like this?
You'd have to ask them. I don't know. Yeah.
How did you get wind of this? How did you find out that this particular operation was doing this?
This investigation and all of our undercover investigations have been chosen completely at random, which is another reason why we feel that animal agribusiness is, let me restate that. You were asking me why we were there. Yeah, okay. All of our undercover investigations have been chosen completely at random, and this is no exception. The facility, we just went there to check it out and discovered that animals were being, that's a terrible way to say that. It's funny to me how different this is when you're doing it like this than just standing at a podium talking. Like I can answer, like I can talk to massive rooms of people, and as soon as you like put those little cameras in your, it changes everything. It's so ridiculous. Man, it's like hard to talk about this case. This is the worst. This is the worst abuse I have ever, some of the worst abuse that I've ever documented in any of our investigations, and it was very difficult for all of us as staff to watch these animals have their heads bashed in repeatedly, and it is a policy at the facility. The facility was chosen completely at random. The owner of the facility acknowledged that he knew and approved of the egregious abuse that we documented here.
So was the person who filmed the video an employee of the cow-calf operation at the time?
Yes, the Mercy for Animals undercover investigator was hired as a carpenter and soon found himself pulling dead calves as one of his daily tasks at this factory farm.
And how do y'all choose which people to send in there, or is it just, I mean, do y'all just pick agents to go, or like, I don't know how it works with y'all's company. How do y'all do y'all's investigation?
There are investigators, yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's just a couple.
Did you get any kind of explanation on, not philosophically or why they treated the animals this way, but why were they culling the animals at all? I mean, why, you know, I don't know if there's a humane way to kill a calf, but why would you need to kill a calf in the first place?
Well, there's certainly less cruel ways to kill animals, and we're recommending that they follow the guidelines of the American Veterinary Medical Association. And the American the AVMA states that that bludgeoning calves violently in the head with the pickaxes and hammers is completely unacceptable. So that's.
How would you compare and contrast those AMVA standards with Texas state law? Because I'm curious as to if what was depicted in the video, does that violate Texas law?
All right.
So just to restate the question, do the actions depicted in the video violate Texas law?
Violently bashing the heads in of these calves definitely violates Texas law, and we're urging the district attorney to prosecute the facility.
And how do y'all go about preventing stuff like this from happening again?
And that's one of those unanswerable.
Well, let me go back to my question a little bit.
And I didn't actually answer that correctly. There's two things.
Go
I
ahead,
should-
try, give it another
okay.
shot. Go ahead.
The handling, I'll state this in the statement that I'll read, but
Sure.
and it'll be a lot better than what I'm going to say right now, but the handling causing unjustifiable pain and suffering is a violation of Texas law. There are exemptions in the state of Texas for normal farming practices, but the way that these animals are being killed are not good husbandry practices and are not normally.
Okay.
So it's just so you guys know, to answer your question, it's the handling, so the grabbing of the ears and
Right.
and but the disbudding is probably legal.
Right. What, the soldering of
Yeah.
the horns?
Yeah.
Let me go back to the question, twofold question I have, which is, why were they culling these calves? And secondly, what does the veterinary association recommend as a humane way to put down animals?
The second part of your question, I don't remember what they recommend for calves, but the American Veterinary Medical Association does state very clearly that bludgeoning calves is not an acceptable method of euthanasia. Did I answer both halves of that?
And why were they culling them?
This facility had more than 10,000 calves, and all the crossbreed calves were being specifically and all of the crossbreed calves were being denied any medicine or medical care. So they were being allowed to languish and die in filthy, manure-coated hutches where they slowly died from their injuries or illnesses.
Right, but they were being culled because they weren't, as crossbreeds, they weren't considered a good, they weren't planning on selling them, in other words. It's a cow-calf operation. So all the animals that they decided that they didn't want to invest the time and money into raising were being culled so that their carcasses could be sold?
No, I don't
Okay.
believe that they were selling the carcasses, but they were actually, that was the killing method for all the animals. This is not just the crossbreeds. The crossbreeds were specifically denied any medicine or medical care.